the next 4 days, I'll be hiking alone in the heart of what many call the American Alps. Through ancient forests and stunning high alpine vistas, where ridgelines rise so high it feels like heaven is just within reach. And moments so far beyond words, you begin to wonder if you've already arrived. So come with me into the Cascades.
This is exciting. I'm in the North Cascades and exploring the lush forest down lower in the valley for the first 2 days. I'm gonna be climbing way up high, up in the alpine, where I'll spend my next couple nights up on the ridge. I'm already experiencing a bit of a wow factor. Just came out of Yellowstone, totally different environment. So I'm already blown away by some of these mountains that I'm seeing. Well, we're just climbing over this first pass, and then I'll be dropping down to my site. It's really, really humid. Wasn't expecting the heat or the humidity, so I'm drenched. But this is unbelievable. Already, like, in disbelief, some of these mountains I'm seeing. This is just stunningly beautiful already. You got fall colors, just epic jagged mountain peaks and glaciers, and then my favorite Washington woods mixed in. It seems like this trip has a bit of everything. And gonna close with some epic alpine views. Sure, like these areas here, be a great place to spot up like a black bear. Here at the boundary, entering North Cascades National Park. Just hiked through the Mount Baker wilderness area. That's Copper Ridge up that way. I'm going down this way. I'm gonna first 2 days down there and then coming back up in that direction. Now, I was originally permitted to go this way on my first night, and I changed the direction of the itinerary because of all the rainy weather. Getting soaked. Really happy I made that decision. Like, what? It's the most wonderful day. We just switched back and all the way down, steeply through this forest. Look at this guy. Wow, he takes the prize so far. I've made it to my backcountry campsite. Oh my God. Walking down the trail that leads to the toilet. No lid, so that's always a special experience. All right, so there is still a fire ban here in the North Cascades. Nice fire pit right there. I really feel alone out here. I mean, on the hike down from the pass, I saw a bunch of people on the way up, but on the way down I saw nobody, and I must have walked through 2,000 spider webs, which tells me no one was really going up or down. It's at that point where I'm always like, is it dinner time? Oh no, still 2 more hours. In 2 hours I can have a cookie, you know? I'm used to eating so much food. I get made fun of like it's always a thing. So to come out here and just have to ration absolutely everything, whew, man, you lose weight. You lose weight. It's a good way to lose weight. All the exercise and absolutely minimal eating. I don't know how healthy that is though. What the hell is that thing? Where his antenna's 3 feet long? I was just blown away. Today already gave me views. It's kind of cool to just drop down into like this old growth Washington forest for the next couple nights. You know, this is just totally different from my Yellowstone experience that I just wrapped up, but you know, just as amazing in all these different ways. Got spaghetti and meat sauce, night one. Come on. Obviously I brought a beer for the first night. Cheers to the North Cascades. A beer out in the wild. It's as good as it gets. Just looking for a place to put my Ursack right now, but I really can't believe there's nobody here. Like, I was totally ready to interact with people. It's been a while. The next person I see, I'm gonna chase down. These definitely feel squatchy. Looks like a colorful sunset up there above these trees. I don't know. I'm kind of just tucked in here in this dark forest. I gotta admit, it's kind of spooky. I love having a campfire in like deep dark woods like this, but without the campfire, then it's just straight up deep dark woods. Good morning and welcome to day 2. It's always a good thing when you see that your food is still where you put it. You never know. Morning coffee from North Cascades National Park. This is my favorite part of the day, every day. Waking up and having coffee. Heading out, we're hitting the trail to start day 2. You know, one of the things that I do like about the North Cascades is that this is gray wolf habitat. There's not many, but they are here. That always just kind of adds a bit of a enchanting factor. When you know there's wolves around, you know it's a wild place. Well, you're welcome to anybody who walks down this trail after me, because I am making sure I clear all the spider webs. I'm already thinking about pizza. You can finally see the Chilliwack back in there. Well, as soon as these views open up, or as soon as the vegetation opens up, I'm reminded that, wow, I'm in one of the most beautiful places I think I've ever been. All right, so I am now on the other side of the Chilliwack, but then tomorrow morning, I am gonna have to ford and then do my climb. So I'll be crossing back over early tomorrow morning. First bear sign I'm seeing on the trail. Again, it's only black bears here, but still, you know, they can be dangerous. You always have to take precautions in bear country. So I'm now on the burn side. There's a sign about not lingering too long because of fallen tree hazards. So I'm just gonna kind of hustle through here because I know that there's a thunderstorm potentially coming in, and with that can bring heavy winds, and you don't want to be in a forest where all the trees are prone to snap and fall when there's heavy winds. So I'm just gonna try and move. There's the beaver dam right there, which has created all this. That is the least stable bridge I've ever been on in my life. Oh my God. It is so easy to fall off that thing, especially in the middle. I finally made it to my second campsite. Again, doesn't look like there's anybody here. I just heard my first crack of thunder in the distance. I think it's slightly starting to rain here. Seeing these big old growth trees starting to sway back and forth. It's actually pretty cool. This is a nice camping area. I like it. Almost has like a Northern California feel. Look at the size of these trees that they had to cut. Watch this. Whoa. These days, you know, they're like a roller coaster, are up and down. You hang in there, and then you just experience stuff that, like, I'll remember the day that I was just hanging out, you know, 15 miles in to the North Cascades, listening to a thunderstorm. Alright, I filtered water for the last time. I got everything filled for coffee tomorrow and to down in the morning before I do that hike, so I don't have to bring much of it with me. The clouds above me are getting dark, so this thunderstorm may level up in just a little bit. This is one of my favorite things about being out in the outdoors, is just being in a lush forest when it's raining. The smells and everything is just popping. It's like Christmas time, like the smells of your Christmas tree, except just everywhere. And actually, if you can do what I'm doing, you find a big tree. See, there's a big tree behind me that has a humongous canopy. It'll protect you from the rain. And for the most part, like, my tent has gotten slammed right now, but I'm pretty much dry. Good morning and welcome to day 3. Look at that fatty. I take it back, buddy. Just kidding. You're just right. You're just right. We're doing bagel, peanut butter. Oh yeah. There it is. It's time to start our biggest day of the trip. Over 4,000 feet of elevation gain. But first, we gotta ford the Chilliwack. Let's go. A couple of reasons for my early start. Originally there were thunderstorms forecast. I don't know if that's still happening. So typically with thunderstorms and you're climbing, you want to get an early start. They typically develop later in the day. And I know even once I'm done climbing, I'm going to be up on that ridge exposed for a bit. Monster tree back there. Something big running around in there. Hey buddy. Might be a bear. Alright. Trail goes up that way. So it begins. Switchbacking steeply up this mountainside. Drenched. Man, this is like something you'd expect to see in like the Congo, just steeply climbing. The trees climb with you, just covered in moss like a rainforest, and it's all mist. Very, Congo rainforest. Like, I'm not even to the burn yet. And then I'll be up in the alpine, do a couple more 1,000 feet. But you just take it one step at a time. At the very least, it's a good workout. All right, there's a creek running here. Last night's rain was a blessing. I was told this is usually dry, especially this time of year. So I'm gonna get as much water as I can and just down. Yes. Taking a break here. Okay. All right, now you should be able to see our trail zigzagging. Look at this. And I have made it to the highest point, at least for today. Oh my God, what a climb. Look at this. Hiking on the edge here through burn, which is why I wanted to beat any potential thunderstorms. You do not want to be in a place like this in a thunderstorm. For lightning strikes and also wind, all these dead trees. This place looks like what happened to Pride Rock after Scar took over. There's a bear right there. Hey buddy. Hey now. He doesn't care. Hey buddy. There. Hey buddy. Hey now. Keep going. Go. Keep going. Jesus. Easy. Keep going. Careful. All right, he ran away. Of course, I don't have bear spray for this trip. I did have this guy ready to go. Luckily, he was afraid for now, and it wasn't a mother with cubs. Pretty cool. Running into a bear on a steep slope like that and puts me in a position where I kind of have nowhere to go. So I picked up a rock, gonna be ready to fight. That thing charges. The way you really react to them, like once the bear sees you, is different. Like if that was a grizzly, I wouldn't have been yelling at him. You make noise so as not to surprise a grizz. Same thing with black bears, but once you see the bear, you do behave differently. Yell at the black bear, don't yell at a grizzly. Kind of have to read its behavior. Okay, I have finally made it to my campsite. What a hike. I feel like I'm about to do the Willy Wonka tumble, except I would just faceplant. I haven't even processed at all where I am, or this location. That's crazy. And this is crazy. This is what you're looking for. To get to unbelievable places that you can only hike to and camp at the most unbelievable locations. We're at the top of the North Cascades. I still don't think it's set in. This is why you hike, this is why you backpack, this is why you get out there, to experience days like today. I started in an old growth, lush forest, and you then switch back 4,000 feet in just a couple miles. When I was hiking through the forest part, that was, it just felt like the Congo. It was all mist, it was so humid, everything was lush and mossy, and it was just so steep. It just felt like something you would like where there'd be gorillas or something. And funny enough, we're in Washington State, so there was some like rocky parts, even almost like a scramble. I was on all fours. It was actually kind of sketchy. Didn't film it because there's just some things I won't do twice. And then to come here to this spot, one of the most beautiful spots I've ever been, to actually be able to set up my tent and camp here and spend the night is unreal. What a day. What a day. Check out this toilet. What kind of machine is that? I think these, like the squeaking sounds, I think they're pikas. The marmots have a little bit more of like a whistling scream. And this area is home to mountain goats. These cliffs up in these areas, and sometimes mountain goats will come into people's camps. Oh, there's a pika. Sometimes mountain goats will come down into people's camps and kind of mess around and look for salty items. Luckily, none of my gear is salty because I didn't sweat at all today. I couldn't choose which view to face, so I'm sitting here right in the middle. I got both views. There's a mountain goat up there. That white figure. Right in the center of the shot, right where it kind of dips down. I wish so many people could experience this stuff. I really do. And I can't recommend it enough that if you're not there, if you feel overwhelmed, but if you're not a hiker or a backpacker, and it just seems too much, just start small.
Start small and build and build and build. Increase your fitness level. I mean, you don't always have to be that fit. You don't have to always climb thousands and thousands of feet. Just get out into the forest. People need to get outdoors. It's so important for the soul. Man, wow. Well, good morning and welcome to day 4. This is one of the most sensational sunrises I've ever experienced. Just a stunningly beautiful morning here at the top of the North Cascades on Copper Ridge. This is just one of those moments that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, waking up to sunrise here at the top of the Cascades. When the sun comes right over the top, this water just turns like into a fluorescent blue, just like Moraine Lake in Banff or something. Super clear water. It's time to climb up to the Copper Lookout first and then go further down the ridge. Should be another stunning day. As I look down on my lake in the peninsula, I was camped right there. See all the clouds in the valley. So everything I camped in and hiked through my first 2 nights is covered in clouds right now. What an experience this is. Wow. Man, oh man. There's a marmot right at the top of these rocks right there. She's resting his head there looking at me. Ah, I made it. Yeah. Door's locked. No one's home. To the highest point of the Copper Ridge Trail. I'm at the top of Copper Mountain. Yeah. Holy cow, what a moment. All right, from this point on, we are dropping down to the trailhead tomorrow. So back that way, all that in there, I believe is the Challenger Glacier. It's just absolutely massive. That's something you'd expect to see in Alaska or something. But the North Cascades do have over 300 glaciers. North Cascades in general is a bit of a hidden gem, one of the least visited national parks, yet it looks like this. Check out this ridge hike we got going on. Bam. I think you should get now why the North Cascades are nicknamed the American Alps. I've been to the Alps, hiked them. You know why I think they're just like the Alps? Because I can't stop filming. Same thing when I was in Switzerland. Breaking news, I am starting to consider the idea of hiking out today. I do have one more night, and I have one more night's food. It's just before noon. Today's day 4. I would have my last night out here originally at Egg Lake. Yeah, I mean, if it's doable, I wouldn't do it if it's not doable. But I think the trailhead might be like
10 miles from here, so that's doable. Here's Egg Lake, where I am permitted to camp tonight, and I'm hiking. Feel good about my decision. It's just got so much of the day left, and I have pizza, beer, a bed, and a shower, all just screaming my name. I've made it to the famous Silesia campsites, and I'm just gonna have my lunch here. I'm gonna eat as much of my food as I can, lighten my load, take a bit of a break, and then go for a big final push. Looking back, Copper Ridge, there's the lookout tower up there. Trail goes down that way. I was wondering if it goes way up there. It doesn't, but what it does do is it crosses that, what looks like a rock slide. You can kind of see the trail, so that might get sketchy in there. Well, here we are at the rock slide, and yeah, it just kind of skirts the side here along a cliff. Okay. Yeah, oh, I can't film. That was sketchy. That was sketchy. You know, I actually did try to film that, but I needed my extra hand to kind of hold on to the wall, because you have to really lean against the wall because the trail kind of just disappears. We're to the point where there's almost no trail. And that stuff is sketchy to me, man, sketchy. Just a small little outcropping on the edge of a cliff. Now, if you fell from that, you might live, you might be okay, but still, it is just sketchy to me. Fall colors are just popping. Bushes of red and yellow and golden on top of the views. Dropping down a good amount, but then to go back up over Hannigan Pass. The idea of climbing any type of pass right now does not sound like good news for my poor legs and ass. Probably the major aspect in the decision for me to hike out today, turn this into a 4-day trip instead of a 5, is the bigger picture. It's not this trip in and of itself. I'm playing the long game here because this is all a part of a much bigger trip. This is a part of a 6-week trip out west where I'm just doing back to back to back to back epic trips. It's like be in the woods for a week, 1 night in a hotel, another week in the woods, 1 night. So if I can give myself 2 nights here, it makes a big difference. Mentally and physically, gives me a little more time to catch my breath, which clearly I do need to catch. The trees are changing size, which means we are dropping, where the trees grow bigger. Look at this. I am at the junction from day 1. I'm sure I'm at the trailhead, right? Wrong. I still have to go up over Hannigan Pass. Hey, buddy. One last push of switchbacks. I have made it to Hannigan Pass. It's all downhill from here. My last climb, 8,000 feet in the books. I just tripped so bad right at the end. The trail is coming for me, I think. Just stumped the you know what out of my big toe. And I went tumbling, but caught myself. It reminded me of my first date with Maggie, where we're walking on the boardwalk and I tripped on the boardwalk on some like wooden piece that was sticking up. Tripped and went flying. Didn't fall, just like stumbled for so long, keeping my feet up, like 15 feet of stumbling. And I started laughing. Maggie was laughing. I look back at her and I'm dying laughing. And as I look back at her, I trip again. And then I stumble like an additional 10 feet. It was a ultra rare double trip on a first date. Worked out though. Oh my God, am I almost there? I can smell pizza. I can taste beer. I can feel a bed. I can feel a shower. Cars! Yes! I made it!
I'll never take moments like these for granted. Alone in the old growth to the soundtrack of rumbling thunder, or sky high on a ridgeline with mountaintops stretching as far as the eye can see. Reconnecting with nature means slowing down, breathing it in, and letting it speak for itself. This journey gave me a clear vision of what nature is capable of, carrying me deeper into the Cascades.